Don't know where that is. He gets another. That's what 1v1 could probably do it.
There's still winning at the front. Turns around and gives it the second.
Let's play. Sign up now.
Can you get me home? Or will you lead me to another place before I overload? Back into the mess of all our broken ways. Give me a signal.
Welcome back, everybody, to the GLL PUBG Season 1 Grand Finals, live from Bucharest, Romania. We are now 75% of the way through the competition, and we have 4 matches remaining. However, it's definitely not been decided who will win yet. We have some teams in about the top 1 to 6 that are very, very close. I am Parla. I've been and will continue to be your desk host for the duration of this event, and I'm joined by Andy and Natu.
Unless you get fired.
Ah, that would suck. Nicholas, please no. Yeah, that'd be unfortunate.
Yeah, that is always unfortunate.
Yeah, I've never been fired before from a job, so hopefully not today. Natu, yourself?
No, I mean, it's not something I really strive for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's anything. And Andy, you're a bit of a rock star. Has it happened to you?
Yes and no. I might have left a note to my desk one day that I'm quitting. I had enough. But that was not like, yeah. It was
And what job was that?
telemarketing.
Oh,
Because I needed new monitor, and I just wanted to get fast money. I just went there, telemarketing, get my provision, and then when I had enough money, I just like one day I quit, left.
well, that's pretty badass, man.
I
That's
know,
pretty cool.
but like I was young, you know.
We're still young.
Yeah.
Still, right, Natu?
Yeah, I mean, we're all still young.
Yeah, all of us, all 3 of us. Anyway, moving forward into what we are about to witness, let's check the leaderboard first off. It's going to come up right about now. There we go. Perfect. All right, so to recap everybody at home, FaZe got off to a good start in the competition, then had a slightly rough middle patch, and now today and last night they've been re-establishing themselves, securing that #1 spot. Optic throughout. I mean, earlier in the tournament weren't cinching the kills, but we're getting some good results, and that's left them in 2nd place, but 100 points behind FaZe in 1st. It's that sort of El Clasico of esports, one of them, the FaZe versus Optic rivalry. And Lumbermill, one of our dark horses who've not won a match yet, but have had consistently good finishes, it's got them 3rd place. And Ghost Gaming, who didn't get off to a great start yesterday and throughout the entire day, have had 2 victories today, got some okay performances leading them 4th. We've got Rogue and the rest of the guys following. Some surprising results to talk about, maybe Cloud9 at the bottom.
Am I wrong or right? Is Rogue actually like after every single match 5th? I mean, like constantly on the same spot. They need that one win, and they will, you know, rocket up a little bit more up.
Yeah.
Navi is dropping down a little bit, not too far with the points. We're still trolling like from Optic Gaming. There's 1 win difference already, but it's actually looking really bad. The rest of the top 10, they need the wins to actually get in there.
Yes, they do.
And the misfortune of some of the top dogs.
Exactly. That's what's so, I think, interesting about this point of the tournament. Some people are still heavily in contention, but there are others that need people to fall for them to rise.
Basically, in the top 5, let's say if you win a game, you get anything from 10 to 15 kills in a game, and then the top dogs have a bit of a rougher time, all of a sudden you're very much into the game in terms of the big picture. So we are getting to the nitty-gritty.
Andy?
Yeah, well, basically, as I mentioned earlier about the 1v1 basically team by Kingwin and FaZe, I did figure out what it was, and it was just, you know, misplay.
Yes, we were talking about this before.
Was for Kingwin used it. Kingwin knew itself, but at one stat point when they peaked fast phase, Jempty would have needed there and actually takes those headshots that he took earlier, cover a little bit fast phase, and then fast phase would have finished that off, and they would have got that game. One misplay, and Kingwin took the chicken in that point.
Let's focus a bit on our current top 4, starting off with FaZe. So the team score on day 1 that they end up with was 37 total kills, 350 placement points, and total amount of points amounting to 498. They are hotly tipped to win. They have been from the start. And I think what they've been showing us here is that they are definitely a force to be reckoned with. And even if they're down now, they can once again show that they can get into things properly.
A bit of a roller coaster event for them so far. Started out hot, had a really good start, but then kind of slowed it down towards the tail end of yesterday. They didn't have the hottest start today, but now they have finally again found that similar form that they were in early in day 1. So that's basically the combination of why they have those points right now.
And Andy, right now their closest rivals are Optic Gaming, a rival throughout esports as well. What can you tell me about their performances so far?
They're not that much of fighters, but the consistency that they've had is at this point, when it comes to NA teams, is the best that I've seen in the entire of these matches we've had here. They've constantly been on the top. They've stayed there. They still don't have that win, and that win might cover up them really close to FaZe. So I'm really hoping that they would, step up a little bit, try maybe a little bit aggressive style at some points, not just hold position. They got actually wiped in the last game pretty easily because they got Kingwin, as they said, Kingwin just, roll on there, but they got shot from other direction as well. So they were not
sandwich.
Yeah, they got sandwiched and pants down, and they just got
sandwiched with
Let's
their
move on to rank number 3 team, Lumberville. These guys, again, one of the stories coming into this is that they're unsigned. They are here to prove and potentially win over the hearts of many and establish themselves. And so far, I think it's going quite well.
Yeah, established themselves as woodchoppers. They've not won games, but they've consistently been a part of the late parts of the game.
Well, you need to watch out there, Crimson's coach, doing a little bit of over-the-shoulder research, perhaps.
Cheeky.
helping out.
So, mate, is
Crimson is giving up now, and they're giving up tips.
Yeah. Is that your scrapbook, mate? Can I just take a look at it quickly?
How do you do it?
No, honestly, like, especially here in Miramar, we've seen a more aggressive Lumbermill. I feel like they've been much more engaged in the
Oh yeah,
Wookie?
that one
Wookie?
match where they actually were constantly running from the side of Minas. They were cleaning up teams with 3 guys the whole time.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen from them online, and that's what they should do now as well. They're good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, let's talk about team number 4. They were originally human, dying at the start of the tournament, but then they rose as ghosts, prove that they could game, and now, today, have secured 2 victories so far. Tell me about Ghost Gaming, Natu.
If only they could have seen me facepalm there with your puns. Yeah, no, obviously they seem to be a bit of a specialist here in Miramar. The toughest possible day 1, being in the very bottom of the board, but now after a couple wins, they are very much in the contest.
Yeah, and when I just did that backstage little bit before, Profi was practicing still in those moments and staying prepared. Do you think these guys can carry on the momentum, Ansi?
I think they have, like, what we noticed, that if they go downhill, they stay downhill. But if they go uphill, like we're seeing today, they stay there. They have this, train that they travel constantly. Like, they stay. If they go into bottom, it's really hard to get out of there unless you have a one day to take a good night's sleep and reset your brain. But obviously, you can see that it's a confidence boost that they got the first win, and then they just kept on going on. The last match where Profi still were at the circle, just getting that placement. Helped out it.
Yeah, positionally, they were fortunate for sure, but they also capitalized. It just doesn't necessarily mean 100%, even if you do get the circle, as we saw from FaZe in the last game, that you will ultimately win. You still got to pick and choose the right fights. You still got to pick and choose, make sure that you're making the right moves.
You actually saw that FaZe collapsed with Ghost in the early stage, and they lost Profi on a rotation phase, and Ghost basically just dipped instantly. They did not even try. Of course, they knew it's FaZe, but I'm not sure if there's the main factor of mental stay element that there's phase there, let's not go 3 versus 4. But they dipped, and basically then they lost 2 other guys in the rotation to phase to getting out of there, trying to get out of the spot.
And Andy, which is your favorite position on the map?
On the map itself, I'll actually be on top, you know, on the high ground.
Okay, you like
So
the
it's
higher
fun.
ground,
High
looking
ground,
down.
proper 360, you know.
Oh, okay,
bridges,
cool.
yeah.
Narty, what about yourself on Miramar?
I mean, I like the canyons for sure. They're lovely. The valleys of love.
Yes, the valleys of love. Let's talk about the canyons again quickly. Do you feel that they have played into what you mentioned, Andy, as an area that you're not very fond of so far, as we've seen throughout the game today?
Well, basically, because in public games like that, Natsu plays a lot. Like you can just go wherever you want, and just someone starts to shoot you from the other side, you just beep, headshot them, and you can just move on calmly. But in these games, when
What
you
kind
start,
of gun was that?
well, that's
I
why
think these are
it makes
like
it
high-caliber
silence them
Ah, fair enough.
from long distance.
You got me there.
So basically, in these games, that when you see someone running, and when we're talking about distance, like 200-300 meters, the shots, almost every single one of them might hit you. Like it takes only a second or two, then you're down. So there's no chance. If you have a vehicle, yes, you can bash, over that kind of situations. But as we've seen, not many teams have been able to hold on to their vehicles in this map. It's been on foot rotations mostly of the time.
Do you feel on Miramar, as opposed to Erangel, that there are weapons being used more? Maybe because it's slightly more open, sniping has a better place, or is there anything that you'd like to mention in regards to that?
4X AR are really on that. When people are running, you can hit the shots really easily. And when you got 4 guys shooting at one target, it's just hard to get away from there.
I'm looking at Toby through the window, and he's just dancing away. He's raring to go. He's looking excited. I can't wait to get him involved. Nartu, do you have...
It's been a rowdy individual yesterday.
He's Australian. It's expected.
Yeah, that's true.
He's being fed grapes right now by his personal assistant, actually. Enjoying a good life.
Getting ready for the cast, eh?
Indeed, indeed. And we will be getting into that shortly. Now, any final thoughts before we jump into that?
I mean, obviously now it's interesting to see how the likes of FaZe and Ghost, the top dogs, how do they fare now? Because now that we're getting down to the last rounds of the tournament, obviously it becomes so much more important for them to consistently be scoring enough so that they don't have that off game where they go down in the 16, 15, 14th place where they don't get any points altogether, pretty much, right? And then if another team that is in the contest right now, close to them, would be able to then get on the board and be very close to the top of the charts already. So right now, it's even more important to be super consistent when it comes to, and you kind of, within the game, you have to be thinking and considering every move you make, even that much more.
Yeah, you need to be a lot more patient. You need to, the pressure that adds on when the games go off, and I know every player is watching the leaderboards like after every match, and every time they get a chance, and they constantly counting on how many, what do we need, what do we need to do, what do we need to go in position to actually get out from there. And the pressure will build up like on both sides, because the top 5 will be fighting mostly against the other top 5, and the bottom ones just want to prove to their community and to their team as like, we can get out from here, like Ghost did basically.
Let's inspect once again the top scoring teams so far of the 16 games we've had. The 12 games of the 16 we've had. We're taking a look at FaZe, Optic, Lumber, Kinguin, Rogue, and Ghost. And is there anything that stands out to you straight away, Andy?
No, not really. It's pretty stable.
Yeah, it looks like it's relatively even across the board, actually, and potentially...
As are the points in the leaderboard.
Average placement.
Exactly.
Well, Ghost Gaming has now gone up from average placement. We see them now. Rogue still stays the same, and they stay on the overall leaderboard the same as well. Kinguin with the top kills. Well, that 20 kills just flew them on top of those.
And with regards to kills, we can also focus on who the top killers so far have been. Firstly, we have Hackset on FaZe with 23, and he's drawing with Caden from Envy, who got a great start to the tournament and is still feeling focused and ready to go. I was speaking to that team, and they definitely want to prove that they are here to stay. Gaxi from Kingwin, who was apparently last night going to partake in some vodka to improve his performance according to his teammates during the interview with Kelly, is on 21. Not sure if it worked or not, but he's doing well. And then we've got Interrogate from FlyQuest on 18 kills. Ryan Lockwood on Team Crimson with 18 as well. And Jempty from FaZe. You guys, one of your favorite players, presumably.
Obviously. Finish.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, and everybody, do not forget that you can sign up for Season 2 now. We've said it before and we'll say it again. Play.gll.gg, $100,000 are on the line. Today, we have $50,000, and so it's setting you up very nicely for what's going to be an explosive second season. And I can also tell you that our casters are ready. It's TobiWan and what the... That's Moses.
Hi. That's the first time I've heard that joke.
Come on, man. Give it to me, guys.
You think that would, that sounded more like German humor and not English humor.
What about TobiWan? Is that all you? That almost makes it
TobiWan?
Really, TobiWan.
You know, there's actually someone called TobiWan, and he is a Rastafarian German rapper.
Well, on that bombshell.
Opposite of...
opposite of this guy.
Yeah,
and it's definitely not this guy.
He's probably cool.
Okay, well, guys, I can't wait to see.
Can I have a replacement caster? Can I get like Avenger back in here or something?
He's definitely not cool. I'm the coolest.
All right, well,
Anybody?
I think you guys are going to have a great time. We have half of the games of today, and that's 25% of our tournament left. It's match 13 of 16. Take it away.
Thank you.
25% sounds like such a small number. I was going to say huge number, but it actually seems really, really small. But the gap between the top 8, it's not as small as I'd like. Gap between 7th and 8th, 2nd to 8th is really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the teams have stayed competitive so far. FaZe in their normal position, which is ahead of the pack, but
100 points ahead of the pack.
Yes, and that can be it can be
it could be
erased if given the right opportunity or given the right circumstance.
The best situations we had, like if we look at like the Kingwin one, which was a very unique one where they had like 20 kills in one round.
Right.
But they were able to catch up 120 points compared to the third position.
It's a huge...
So if FaZe gets like 3rd and down,
right,
then and someone has like a performance like Kingwin, they have a chance to catch up to them. But FaZe can also just like lose a player within the first minute,
right?
And this also helps everybody have a great close game.
That's true, and I mean the chances of that happening, especially on a map like Miramar, where most teams aren't as experienced as they have been on Erangel. For FaZe, it only takes 1 or 2 poor games out of the next 4, which, considering they're the most consistent team, is unlikely, but still possible for someone to catch them. And right now, it looks like it could be Optic.
Man, I'm actually loving to watch the development just over the course of today. Like Miramar, not a map that like we at least got to cast together until now. Hey, popping the cherry. But it's the fact like watching the players from round 1 today,
right,
compared to round 2 even, was such a huge difference because no one knew where anyone was going to drop.
Absolutely.
Then they all go back and they study the voice like, oh, now we know they dropped here or they dropped there. So everyone started to filter into this really fast developing meta to a point now where we're not losing like we had in game 1 all these players on early rotations because they started crossing the line of not 1 but 2 but 3 squads. So it makes for a lot more of a competitive, and I think we get the sweet spot of today. Once everyone's now in a little bit more of a comfort zone, had a break, had some time to think about it.
No doubt, and the comfort zone comes with multiple days of competition as well, and now we're in their 2nd day. And the second half of today's games, people are going to be in their most comfortable that they're going to be. So, unfortunately, there's going to be a bit of a tough playing pattern along the lowest portion of the map here, and that's going to be a long travel for those trying to get north.
Maybe Kingwin for once gets contested instead of having all of the Picado loot to themselves.
No doubt. Now, it'll be the vehicle rush around Picado, I think, will be the highest point of contention for them. So defending the vehicles that they will need to at least rotate around. We saw this actually as we were watching the earlier games. Teams don't want to use those vehicles past that 2nd or 3rd transition. It's just a little bit too dangerous.
Yeah, but we also saw a lot of them use it. Like the Kingwin 20 round was actually using the UAZ. I think they had to go
Bronco.
The Bronco. That's right. Can't call it a UAZ.
It's different.
It sounds too American though to be in Mexico. But Kingwin were really utilizing that just to move around, but understanding when the time was right to get out of the cars. And hey, Navi get the southwest side of the corner, almost. They actually can chokehold Crimson out if they're good enough, because no one wants to take the eastern bridge out of that southern island. And we're going northeast, a long way.
Looks like there's a bit of a developing fight happening with Optic and FaZe around their loot spot here in Monte Nuevo. And we actually see the first kill, and that's going to be Adamdids going down from STK. That's Hypoc finishing off the kill from 17. So that's the first death in the game happening within the first 30 or so seconds.
Yeah, they're actually on top of each other.
Penta as well, yeah.
If they can finish him off and shoot to kill, are able to lose
no.
more. But Hypoc, you need to see him
He's
in the
got
freeze.
nothing.
Oh, man. Well, he's got death. He owns death.
He's got bullets in the side of his head, and that's going to be 2 deaths right out of the gate. And that's what happens when you have that poor plane path that doesn't give you a lot of options. SDK, not having the best tournament so far, have probably just had their win completely removed from their sails. That's an awful way to start this game.
You know what they wanted, though? Like all they wanted was the vehicle so they can move all the way up to La Correria. We're gonna butcher.
Try that again.
Okay.
Roll it back.
Okay, I freaking okay. So I can't. I never pronounce it the same. I just say it's Cobra. La Cobra. It's how I.
There's 2 R's.
Okay. Do we
Cabrera.
actually look?
To say it that way. It's not, I mean, just delete the I, look, Cabrera.
Cabrera?
There you
Okay,
go. Easy enough. Close
I'll,
enough.
I will accept Cabrera if you'll accept Cruella de Vil for Cruz de Vala.
No.
Damn it!
So this first rotation is going to be very difficult, and you can see STK trying to take one back from Optic here. Uncivil's taking those long shots, but there's really not much they can do. I think that for STK, they're already spread out. Wooly and Uncivils are far enough apart. You can see Wooly looking down towards the vehicle of Optic. And FaZe has actually been the benefactor here, being able to start their loot phase without any contest. And now, really, it's going to be trying to get to that initial rotation started. And it looks like it's going to be Trifley heading to Cruz del Val by himself in that vehicle.
Yeah, Lumbermill are able to set up so early on inside of the northern part of the circle. So, like, they can own Cruz pretty nicely. NLG also have all the time in the world to loot. And they know that no one else has gone further north of them. That's just that advantage of having the southern flight and being able to watch all the shoots.
That area around Leonis, we always see multiple teams engaging there. Well, not engaging, but looting in that area.
You got 3 in that place.
No doubt, and we see Kaisiko and the rest of Envious taking some shots here from Kate, from Lumbermill. Lumbermill actually coming on today and having a much better day and solidifying themselves in that top 5 position. So something that we had discussed yesterday is the teams that would be dark horses. I think Lumbermill and Crimson were both in that conversation. They find themselves top half of the leaderboard.
I kind of want to see what Trifelli does about this, because it was his teammates that shot at the Envious running 2 players coming inside the car further north. And if he has the confidence just to sit on the road and wait for them to arrive in Cruz de Vala.
Well, that's the issue with Miramar is you can't really do too much off-roading. It's difficult to drive enough in Miramar. It slows you right down. You can see Envious
just
veering off the road, so that's a smart move from them. Going back to Leonis, this transition for all these teams trying to get north is going to create a bit of a choke point around the bottom half of the map. Ghost is there as well. We now join Envious, jumping out of their vehicle, headed to a open compound, and something they're likely going to want to hold, at least for the first little bit of this game. Yeah,
if they can secure this, nice in the middle of the circle. I think only King would have been that lucky recently to have the middle of the circle. But this should keep us a little bit further north and hopefully keep us away from that horrendous place of La Bendita.
No doubt. The crater, not easy to traverse in any circumstance. Lumbermill in an interesting position as well, able to play gatekeeper on the western side of the play zone. Lumbermill being more aggressive today, and it looks like Kingwood's going to be heading up that direction, but it doesn't look like Lumbermill's in a position to attack just yet.
Everyone's still looting. And from the Hacienda, you don't really have a great line of sight until they go almost direct east of there. And by that point, you're 200, 300 away. And, well, we said it was difficult to drive in Miramar. This is an achievement.
No
Cloud
doubt.
9.
I'm not sure if Solid was able to crash both of those vehicles himself, but I think he's definitely run out, and off he will go on foot. So Solid
this is a sad thing. Like you almost pulled
This is
down.
a microcosm of Cloud9's tournament in this shot right here. It's just it's all upside down.
Pull down the Shroud of Despair.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's what you need.
You know, unfortunately, in every single game so far, Shroud being the first one eliminated, it's tough to see him having such a tough tournament.
Totally eliminated.
63 players is not what we'd like to see within the first 30 seconds, but Shroud being eliminated every single time has got to be disappointing for his fans all around the world.
Yeah, you may as well just leave the team. Ghost are going to hold the eastern side as they go all the way up, so you don't actually have that nice crossfire just yet until Ronan move over too. So you got FlyQ coming in, you got Cloud9 coming in next to them. This southern part of the circle is going to get really messy if everyone wants to hold the east, because while they're making that run up, the only logical place for them to go is directly in to No Loot Gaming.
So it looks like this transition, at least for Envious, is going to be uneventful so far. They are going to rejoin, but it looks like you mentioned, NLG is hanging out, driving around in this bus, but I was expecting to see a little bit more action in that southern portion of the play zone. Maybe we still have more to come, as it looks like FlyQuest, Ghost, and Ronan have all gotten relatively close to each other. C9.
What is Ghost? Ghost is like driving on the rock face on that southeast. It looks like Kingwin having some trouble. Miracu does not want to get completely down, and that's exactly what happens. Galaxy too far away, so Kingwin taking an early casualty and maybe shot in the back. Larson. So Kingwin, they were split up nicely, which put Envious into this bit of a crossfire.
So for Kingwin, they did lose one, but it looks like the 2-2 split for Kingwin is working in their favor. Gaxi did get away, and now they're going to take potentially 2 players off of Envious. Jesse LOL trying to get away. Gaxi chasing to take away the angle. Check shooter down. There's nothing they can really do to save him. Kingwin trying to recoup and do some damage to Envious in a pivotal game for them.
Yeah, look how fast Kingwin are moving for this. They want to take care of Jesse so they can focus on the last 2 players of Envious who are up at the moment. So there comes that pressure. They reveal their position. Jesse will be brought down by Larson.
Wow.
So Kingwin still 4 strong. Envious know this. They are leaving Check Shooter to die.
Nothing to be done, really. So that's an unfortunate start for Envious, now losing 2 very early shoot to kill, still with 2 up as well. So
and Na'Vi actually choke pointing out FaZe as well. You have multiple choke points right now because No Logic Gaming are finally having people coming into them.
Yeah, it looks like Envious has arrived at the loot spot of FaZe. Nothing happening just yet as we see. Whoa! Kraken going down and actually instantly killed by the vehicle explosion.
Now, he was trying to battle it out, but he was all by himself. So not what Ronan wanted to have happen. They got isolated because they're just trying to make their run further north. They're trying to get up towards Bronca.
So we actually see now it's check shooter down from Kingwin as well. So the woes of Envious continue.
Yeah, that was the eventual bleed out.
Oh,
they left it behind a long way, but this is better. It's Cloud9. Well, you can flip 2 vehicles and then you get gunned down as you go through the ravine of gankingness.
That was a long bleed up for check shooter, but yes,
it
you are
was
correct. And now he's out. Now Cloud9. You know, again, just having a rough time this tournament on rotation.
And more information lost. He wants to try and get more. Meanwhile, Na'Vi, they were the ones who were trying to lock up FaZe, but Jempty able to get a kill out, so Na'Vi will lose 1. And Fly, unless Lost wants to walk her down this hill, they will not have a rebuttal.
Looking at the way the map is developing, I was wondering what Na'Vi was doing. They did wind up right on top of FaZe in Monte Nuevo, but now have backed off completely. So I'm not sure if it was intentional or they just happened to come up there organically, but they have now backed off of FaZe. FaZe picking up an additional kill, so it's super important. And I'm interested to see if teams want to take it to FaZe here to try and make their games a little bit harder. But now, speaking of having hard games, C9 still messing around in vehicles with Kaisako and Caden. Caden having a terrific tournament, top fragging for his team, and really drawing a lot of attention to himself with his play. So that's a good tournament for him so far. But for Cloud9, you really have to try and go defensive here and try and save this round.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have these great shooters, but they've only got 1 teammate to work with. Larson, yeah, you balance that, man, but he's chasing down the rest of the Cloud9 players. Elusive hasn't really been that elusive throughout this tournament, had a bit of a hard time, but at least he'll make it towards the building, so he'll join up with Frolica. And Kingwin, they know they have to try and reposition as C9 do have the defensive spot.
So Var taking some pressure from Elusive Frolicker, and he now finding a compound to hold on to. So Vard making it through. Kingwin, you know, a little bit of a bumpy start there, but looking okay so far. Having probably the only 20 kill game of this tournament so far.
It was
looking to convert another win here to try and catapult themselves into contention for the #1 spot. But again, it's all about FaZe having a bad game and the others having a good game, and the consistency is just. It's tough to roll those dice every time.
Well, if you are looking towards that front, then Rogue and Optic will have some work to do. FaZe are coming in behind them on the western side of the circle, but it is such a clusterfuck right in the middle. No one has taken the north. No one went up to Tora. No one went to the Militar. No one even made up to Bronca. No one has gone up to that northeast corner. I almost hope the circle bounces up that way just to tell these teams, remember, there is a northeast corner of this map.
Yeah, as little as you might find your way up there, it's something that has a lot of complex compounds to hold on to. So For Ghost, they have an opportunity to back off here as they're receiving a lot of pressure from Ronan. And,
Hey, the ore can finally be collected.
there it is.
Yeah.
Nice looking crate.
And the level 3 helmet, ghillie suit
all
is great.
sorts of
Everything
stuff
you
in
need
there.
to kill a good FaZe team.
Extended quick draw mag for a sniper rifle, a ghillie suit, and an AUG. And now it looks like there might be able to split up some of that loot, but the ghillie suit might be left behind depending on who wants to dress up like a bush, but we will not be going northeast.
How many times will we find Kingwin smack bang in the middle of the circle? That's exactly where they've ended up once more. But this is great for FaZe at least because they bounce down to the southern side of the water treatment plant, and that keeps them away from both Optic as well as Rogue.
And that's going to be an easier transition. There is a giant hill between FaZe and Rogue right now. Rogue having picked up that crate. They will have the ability to continue to transition. Looks like Ewan wants to maybe pick up that centermost compound or at least scout it out. But they might be inclined to just stop. But now everyone's kind of shifting to the left. So now the eastern portion of the play zone is getting very hot as C9 is now taking shots at everyone transitioning their way. And these teams are mixing up.
Yeah, this is the perfect perspective shot to watch everybody cross through. They get rid of the bloody fence. They don't have to deal with that kind of cross as Frolica. These Cloud9 are able to pump some bullets into some people, but Ghosts are also trying to make the very quick transition.
Balak lost his buggy. He's now having to jump out on foot, get into the ditch.
Oh,
He's
that's
got nowhere
death.
to go.
That's actual death. Frolica just needs to connect. One more free
Oh.
makes it, and then, yeah, in the middle of the road. This is the ultimate definition of roadkill.
And that's that for him. So Caden did pick up one from NLG. Finished off, actually stolen by Gaxi, so that's another kill going to Kingwin. So that's a nice pickup there. Caden a little bit upset, but now he's got the opportunity to pick up some more shots on NLG. Outsider down. Caden getting the knock and finishing that one and taking a bonus shot at that rolling destroyed Bronco.
And NLG had to be so happy. They had El Hazar, and then everybody came at them. They managed to get one kill in return, and now one as they exited the town. But it's not a good position for them.
Oh.
They are trapped in a ravine with no way back out again.
Caden looking for more. You have to wonder, is it necessary? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a nice shot.
This is really problematic for Ronan. That's two players down on the side of the hill, and the one player that can get to them will not reach it in time.
Ooh,
in fact, already Ghost McCoy is driving up. There's one person, which is Duck, who could cause a couple of problems for McCoy's run.
nice aggression, but
He
has
spun
to be
out.
careful.
He spun out. It's McCoy that should
Wow.
go down. Unless someone else wants to steal that kill away from him.
He's not getting the pressure. Oh, there it is.
Oh, he tried to secure the
Good
kill.
save. Really nice save. They aren't, well, I say that as McCoy
dies.
taken down by Elusive a little bit further away as C9 is still playing Gatekeeper there. But I like the idea, but I'm wondering if Ghost just did not have any idea that C9 was there because they did see NLG take a bunch of fire on the way past. So I guess maybe a miscommunication or just didn't have that knowledge, but McCoy will go down. But they do get a bunch of Ronin players in return, and they are the first team eliminated here.
Yeah, it could have been that overconfidence too. Like I say, hey, we got a buggy, we can move quickly.
So Butts, the second to last man standing. He's spread out from his teammate a little bit. They are close enough to maybe reconvene, but nothing to really be done as Lumbermill has taken residence just next to him. So now I was just going to say Al Azahar still in the next play zone. They did want a center, but they had to maybe realize that teams would have made their way up there. So using those vehicles in the way they did maybe cost NLG a little bit too much too soon.
Lumbermill is actually going to come under fire from multiple angles. They got Envious to their east, Kingwin to the south, Optic to the northwest, and even Rogue holding the road a little bit further down to the south. So everyone's going to have these nice long-range battles with each other. Maybe the reason too why Shoot to Kill and Crimson and Nova are all taking so long to get into this white circle. But FlyQ is already moving into position to try and block out Nova, while everyone else has their own little battles. And maybe FaZe gets Shoot to Kill as they're coming in from the west only now.
Shoot to Kill, making it into the play zone, but not without taking damage. So FaZe maybe hearing that vehicle pull up behind them. Caden staying active.
You can see the three eyes
FlyQuest
looking
actually
that
has
way.
Nova zoned out as well. They're preventing an entry there, but so it's going to be Crimson trying to rotate north, taking a page out of the FaZe strategy book there and trying to rotate around north where they think the less of the map pressure will be.
That's like a horrendous ravine for for them to get in from,
Yeah,
like
it's
Nova.
very, very hard to get through there.
And the circle, however, will work for him. It pushes east, close towards El Hazar. So
This
all
is
of the
where-
nice positions on the west are now no longer nice.
This is where NLG is kicking themselves.
This is where Crimson's just loving life. They're going to come in through the northeast side of the circle and potentially cause problems for Envious and everyone else who's rotating in.
No doubt. I don't think that Envious is going to want to crash center at least too quickly. They might want to shift to an edge strategy. FaZe not having gotten tangled up with anybody just yet. Shoot to kill is still nearby at the gas station. We are near the water treatment plant. So I like the vision that FaZe is going to manage here. And for now, they do have to rotate into the play zone and transition a little bit, maybe about 500 or 600 meters to get to where Rogue is. But they've already started moving, has Rogue, and they are converging on Kingwin.
Good luck for Kingwin. They had some fantastic battles earlier today. They'll be welcoming fighting from a defensive position. That's what Nick's trying to do at the moment. He's getting lit up by Kingwin, running across the ridge line, and then back into the safety of Rogue.
Elusive keeping tabs on FlyQuest. You can see the traversing players on the ridge across from him. Interrogate having an excellent tournament. Everywhere he goes, Interrogate
Rogue
seems to be having a good time. But now it's, Rogue
Yeah,
taking damage.
They tried to move north, but then that put them in range of Lumber Mill, and they can't move to the east because Kingwin's there. And then in the middle of all of that is NLG as well as Envious, who are also having a great old fight. So Rogue in repair mode at the moment. Crimson are coming in from the north, but Optic have done the long road around, and FaZe are also doing it. It's actually the reverse FaZe move. You go anti-clockwise, or actually go clockwise around this circle.
They might run in right into Crimson, however. Yeah, so Rogue still taking pot shots. You can see the rotations in transition here. So it's Crimson arriving first, and now this might be problematic for Optic.
Optic are going to be coming through that valley on the northeast side, and this is where Crimson can just light them up. Same with Envious from the west. So Optic, they're about to become meat in this sandwich.
You can see
them. It's the perfect camera shot at the moment. It's Optic. Crimson, they just need to connect on a couple of these targets and get one knockdown at least, but they're not actually gaining it.
It's Hypoc, and he's going to duck away without getting downed. Only one shot left remaining, and now they turn their attention to Baja Waka, trying to get a tire pop to get him to spin out, but nothing landing just yet for Crimson. That was a great opportunity, but the terrain of Miramar making it difficult to stay consistent with those shots.
Man, how the hell do you get through all of this? I can't believe they actually managed to get all players from Optic down and through, apart from obviously Hypoc, who's left behind, but he's still inside the circle. He can just bunker up and play separate from the rest of his team. Okay, maybe Optic can't do it. They're driving directly into Cloud9, and that's going to be 17 down.
For too strong, C9 is playing above themselves right now. Elusive doing a good job of putting fire out, and that's Baja being finished. So that's one down from Optic, and now Hetror is separated. Hypoc is as well. So this transition now being obliterated by all these teams as Optic is now scattered to the wind, but FaZe also having a difficult time getting in. Crimson playing gatekeepers to the north.
I like how Hypoc, by himself, but still is very happy to try and shoot at FaZe, pushing them close towards MBS, and this Virginity has no cover on their bike. They'll see Haxit coming down the hillside too. He's out in the blue, has very little to play with, and this is, it's a huge thing for even one of them to drop. Hard to recover that bike if you lose one, so FaZe, no other choice but to take cover outside the blue in the building, and Mixie also still has to make his way in.
Crimson's not going to move. They know that they need to prevent FaZe from having a good game, so they're going to try and stay active, make sure that they can't get flanked. So they're going to keep that vision, those 4X, that ACOG scope, doing a lot of work for them as we see Wooly down and out from Caden. Now, FaZe is stuck in the blue. They are going to have to continue to use that vehicle, just get away from Crimson.
And they're going to make this timing really work. Under the hill, they're taking so much damage still outside the blue. The tick continues, and the drop, where is it? The connection. FaZe just keep on running. There it is. The blue knocks off Fuzzface and hacks it. I don't think he has enough time to met as well, so the play zone may knock. Yeah, it does. Both of them will fall. Mixie is still outside the circle on the northeast, but no real way to get in as this circle has centered pretty hard on the road. Knights trying to take the one compound that's there, but FlyQuest already in position on the hill, but they couldn't knock any of the Knights as they charge their way forward.
There's just no good way for Mixie to get into the play zone. There's so many teams around the top end. Now, he doesn't know that, but essentially FaZe has to go full defensive here, and there's nothing they can really do to make that work. So unless Mixie is able to sneak in and prone, but he's got such a long distance to the new play zone as we've shifted to the south. Now, it looks like the Knights have a great spot. There's a huge ridge right above them.
God, Crimson's still there. He's making his run at the moment.
Hypoc
Doesn't
is
have enough
too.
life, and yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
Mixie, he rolls the truck.
He's punching
and
his keyboard right now. I can already tell. He's like, you know what?
Okay.
I'm just gonna chill here.
Could have died in
Wow.
the back of the truck.
He is not happy. I can guarantee. I've talked to Mixie enough to know that he's not pleased. So that's FaZe going out 14th place, and that can have wide-ranging implications for the rest of these games.
Yeah, this is huge now for all these teams to try and reduce the distance for that first position, but they need a good ending for it. Kingwin in a great position on the western side of the circle in the middle. Same thing for FlyQuest. They're basically horizontal from each other, and then the Knights in the middle. Nova control the town, and the North starts to encroach in, and there's Envious trying to bring down a little bit more.
Profi missed the entry frag there. He was not able to land that, and now Crimson has adjusted. Caden's still picking up kills. He's still having a lot of good shots here. Now Profi actually taken down and finished in return, and Ghost is eliminated going out in 13th.
Yeah, that's a rough run for them, but still opening up with such a small circle. You knew something like this was going to come. Hey, Hector can try and find a kill onto Envious, who are finally coming in from the northern side.
Kaisako trying to rotate right into front of
Run over
Jason.
him! Oh!
Wow, that is a trade at its essence.
Go hug each other, boys. Like,
Yeah, I can only imagine what's happening in the local voice chat right now.
It's like, hey man, like that was a great drive. Yeah, man, that was fantastic shooting. Everything was so good. You were amazing. Is what was happening there.
You know what? You have great hair, Kaisako. I just wanted to say that to you.
Yeah,
and,
can you skin my AK for me?
Can you drop your coat?
I want your shoes, bro. So more support's coming in.
Oh.
NLG's going to come for the revive. Looks like Butts has to kill
Caden's coming too.
Yeah, he's got to move quickly, and this will be, if he has a grenade, go for the long toss.
He's coming
That's
to
the way to
finish
do
it.
it. It's you lit up the hit zone.
Oh,
Just
Caden sprayed the smoke.
Aim for the smoke. Does he have a grenade? Does he have something?
He's going to spray the smoke as soon as he comes across. He's going to know they're in there.
There's the hit. Does he
Spray the smoke, Caden.
wait
Do it.
for it? Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for the circle's about to hit him in the bum.
They've already meted, so he's
Oh wait, he had a grenade the entire time.
Oh, he had waited too long though. I
Yeah,
think.
they
Oh,
may
maybe.
move out. That
Maybe.
grenade could be really good. No, it was too
Oh,
short.
wow.
Bunch Jensen, they're covered by the smoke, and now Caden outside gets brought down by Rogue of all people because they're further up the hill.
Oh,
The
Caden.
next problem that will await them.
He didn't see any bodies around the smoke. I was expecting him to try and spray that down, but I guess he didn't want to give out that audio information. So Caden missing out potentially on 2 additional frags, and Envious is now out as well.
I like how that drop is going directly into Knights. Sure, why not? Meanwhile, Fly still holding FlyQuest that hillside. They'll stop Crimson from being able to join up with each other. Crimson very well split the 3 players as Butts is the end of this situation for NLG. He
look,
cannot get past Rogue.
Smoke grenade followed by a frag.
Grenada!
Gets him to move. He now has to return. They're making him run towards him, throwing nades downhill. Very difficult, but now Rogue, aware of his presence, spread out and looking to finish NLG.
Burn all the meds. Don't let him have anything, man. Drink all those drinks. Beverages shall only be drunk today by NLG.
Looks like they want to...
They have to deal with him.
They know he's there, but he's just smoking himself out, but he's a silhouette against the blue, so once they get up close, they might have to trade, but Ewan is on the wide angle, Jazza on the short, with Fuffins coming on top. There's nothing to be done for Butts as there's just no room to escape.
King was having a hard amount of time, too, sitting in the town, so while Butts is wasting the time of Rogue, like, okay, yeah, just get in there, Ewan. Just finish the job and we can move on. But Nova, as well as... Well, almost everybody was having a turf war inside of Elazar. But it's shrink time. The circle will come in just a bit.
So they had a crate delivered, and they have the best spot in the current play zone. They have a giant ridge to cover them. I don't think there's any more advantages that could go to the Knights right now.
Yeah.
Maybe an additional player would be good.
Their only downside is the fact that Na'Vi, the only ones who hold the southern side. Oh, it's an AWP. Never mind.
I think it's trash. Leave it there.
Never mind. We don't
No
want
thanks. I'm good.
that. Yeah. But look at Na'Vi's
Look at all
position.
these teams.
Like, we haven't even really...
It's like an anthill. Just like everyone's just running around the top of it.
You know, I knew we took some of the game modes from Arma 3, but we're now playing King of the Hill in Battle Royale as Crimson, LM, Nova. Everyone tries to take the hill that Fly currently own. And Na'Vi are on the other side of the hill, and they may be able to try and capitalize on this. Here comes your nades into Crimson.
Oh,
and
that's right
on top
of
of Jim.
Ooh, that was close. Luckily, he wasn't on the move there. FlyQuest pushing heavy. They're looking to take it to Crimson.
They need to be able to control this hill
Oh,
and shoot down into the town, but here comes Pybus in from the side. Rogue was able to get a bit of a revenge into Hector, but
wow.
this hill currently
Raiding.
belonging to the
Oh!
Evers. Interrogate again. He manages to do it, barely staying alive on 10 HP. Can revive the teammates and get revive the teammates and get.
He's going to med first. He's playing
Okay.
it safe. They're going to walk down into the smoke, get out of the line of sight, interrogate. Known throughout the PUBG community, well known for his gamesmanship and his ability to play in any situation. So interrogate with a clutch play, saving FlyQuest here.
They have
the
to move
circle
quickly, though.
closing. Yeah, I think he has time though. I think he's got time.
Yeah, they should have time to get both players up, but they won't be able to med before they get into the circle. Nova finally getting out, but Lumbermill is down here trying to contest them for the edge of town, and the edge of town is not in. Like, they have, I think, half of that building that they're currently occupying, but that's going to be all. So the circle stops in 2, 1, and freeze.
So that's going to be now Lumbermill
Freeze. Jeez.
smoking the exit. They know that Nova's nearby, and the nades are coming in as well, so Lumbermill not easily displaced. So Nova going 3v2 at the edge of the play zone. They don't have far to travel, so for now I think it's going to be a bit of a stalemate, and we'll see how Lumbermill handles this shortly. But Landoon is on the wide angle. He has the exit covered, and it looks like Nova's going to try to escape.
So this is going to be great for Fly if they can get down the hill, but I'm not quite certain exactly where they go. They're getting shot at by Rogue, so FlyQ as well as Rogue are having this little bit of battle. You still have to remember the Dark Horse, almost the silent yet deadly Na'Vi, who are still on that south side. And as far as the circle movement goes, they are winning. They are winning hard on that circle.
Ooh,
but
Kane goes
Nova
down.
and LM, they have to finish this battle so they can focus on the rest of it. And there it is, just trade tit for tat around the corner, met up quickly. Who actually comes out on top of this?
Not Nova.
It's not Nova indeed.
So,
Actually,
it was
no, it is.
Nova. It
Wait,
was
hang
Nova.
on. They killed them all with LM. Like, they were all knocked down
Oh
apart
my
from
God.
one. FlyQ will come into Knights, but then FlyQ get wiped. They work so hard for the hill control.
Oh my God.
Oh, boy.
That's well, we bobbled that one a little bit, but regardless, that was Nova actually staying up there. That was down to the wire. Nova managing to stay up there.
But now they're going to be forced into the open. The only way they can really do this is by crossing to the south side. They know Knights is already established, and Rogue is exactly the same idea. So now everyone is coming into Na'Vi. Oh, Rogue. Okay, well, one will be knocked off the edge. It's such a hard hill, and maybe even the angle.
Oh, Ewan.
Oh, yep, that's not good for him. Faf giving a little bit of head to Vosik, but Vosik will have to hide back for the moment.
The Knights have not managed to take any casualties so far, only playing with 3. So now Voxic medding. They're still in a
Nice
great
kill
spot.
secure for Nova. They actually finished him off.
Yeah, no doubt. That was a really nice recovery. I didn't realize who got tangled up there, but it was the Knights shooting into the back. So now with Na'Vi actually sneakily still having 3 strong.
Puff's got to get out of there. He's got no choice.
Yeah.
Knocked out inside the blue and knocked down by Nova. Knights have a really good angle on them, and this circle is the worst thing for Nova. They're at least inside it for the moment, but you know that next one's going to hurt.
Navi's in a good position here. They're on the high ground. They are in the zone, and they're putting a bunch of pressure onto Rogue. Na'Vi actually having their kill stolen by Locknarb. And now Yannick trying to rotate and get some cover, but Na'Vi is going to go aggressive here. So yeah, they have him entirely zoned, and the zone is coming.
He's got a small rock he can play with, and that definitely is giving him cover for the moment. But now the circle will arrive, and it may just be worthwhile to deny himself inside the blue. And,
Maybe, yeah.
And med, he can't med through that. Like this is such a late circle that it's only denial to the blue.
Nova didn't lose a single player.
No.
That's amazing. So now the Knights, they are in a similar position where they have good cover, but they are going to be forced to move here, and there's not a lot of space in the gas station. Drayden going down.
Actually, he's outside the blue. The gas station, only the tip of it was inside the circle, and he did not get into that corner in time. The circle will push a little bit further south. Finally, the play zone will take care of Rogues, who are down to 3 teams.
Nova.
And the Knights are tracked in, but it's Na'Vi who are pushing in behind Nova. They need to take them by surprise poker. He's been absolutely amazing for Na'Vi throughout the course of this weekend, and he's looking to actually capitalize if he can. Landoom, any kind of reveal? He needs to see just a little bit closer. They're going for a fish nade.
They know they're there, so it's just a matter of sight lines. Landoon off to the right. Now that nade gives them some information as to how close Na'Vi is.
This great flank. Ubar's coming all the way in from the south, so Na'Vi are going to have a great cover area. They get the first bit of information. Nerf Me Please gets knocked down, and this is that flank from Ubar I was talking about. They push him hard, but the cover fire is there. They have enough of it. Shade hit on the top. Landoon.
Pokemoto hasn't been finished. Shade is there. He's got to back off and med. and now so will Landoon. Now it's a 2v1 situation.
So many knocks. Knights are actually making the most out of this, so they clean up the rest of Nova, who were down on the hill. So Knights have actually made it into the foot of the hill. Shade is the problem for Nova. They want to get rid of him so they can finally finish off the Knights.
Knights could actually finish this. Shade is by himself.
And his ass is directly towards them if they run up this hill. He has no cover on that end of the hill.
They have, if they keep running up this hill, they are going to spot Shade. He's now completely pinched.
Did Kramer see him?
I'm not sure, but he's looking around. They know they're up there somewhere, but Shade is just laying. Well, I wouldn't say still. He is kind of rolling around.
He's turning himself. He realizes he's being flanked in from behind. So at the moment, he wants Nova and Knights to fight. The issue is he's picking in the middle.
Yeah, there's nothing he can really do but stay perfectly still and try and trade, and it's not going to happen.
Won't happen. Shade as well as Ubar will go down, and Na'Vi will be knocked out.
2v2.
It's Knights versus Nova, 2-on-2 action. This is old basketball court kind of style. Who is the Kobe, however?
So we'll see. Here comes the grenade.
If
Voxic looking to throw it right across the bow here. Landoon's got the smoke out.
She's got that hillside is so terrible to play from. At least he's got the tree for cover. There's such a slippery slope.
Just looking for that initial vision. The smoke's out.
They're splitting. So Nova are going to go for this long kind of crossfire while the Knights playing a little bit closer together. They want to deal with Landoon. They got the information on him, and Landoon is on the run. Into the depth plate as Richie starts his rotation around, but Landoon has already fallen before Richie can be involved. They'll finish him off, and now it's 2-on-1 for the Knights of Camelot.
Richie had to go on the low side, but he just took
a
little bit too much time, so he has the opportunity to flank. He's right there.
Knock. He needs the instant knock onto Knights before they can reply. And, well, no, they get the information. Voxic, he doesn't get knocked. Put on the AK. Richie will get one, but no, it's still going to belong to the Knights, who end with 7 kills at the end of the round, claiming first position. You do it with 3. You don't need 4.
Wow, that was a really nice move from them, coming up that low side of the hill and flanking on Na'Vi. They waited just long enough to keep themselves out of harm's way after taking a casualty on the way up. So that's with only 3 players to start. They managed to get all the way through that. They did have a bit of circle luck on their side. Nova had a great game. We talked about that engagement with Lumbermill. Came down to the wire, so close, in fact, that
you didn't know who was going to win it.
Regardless, Nova having a nice game as well. They handled Na'Vi with grace, and then ultimately it was just the Knights coming in just a little bit offside on Nova, and they split them up, and that's secured them a game. So.
It's the moment too when I was looking at Na'Vi on the south side the entire time. I'm like, man, this is a really great spot for them. And then you realize the only way they can get involved is by cresting so hard on the edge of that hill. There was no cover on the edge of that hill for them to work with. So it was like, wait for them to come and then make the best move of it. But
what can you say, boys?
They got 3 at least.
What is it? Are you meditating?
Yeah, what is
Oh, sorry, guys. I was just meditating on that rather climactic finish there. I was rooting for our Nova player 1 versus 2, and unfortunately, he just didn't have that perfect timing.
No, that was a little bit of a low side flank that gone a little bit awry, but that was still a great effort from Nova.
Indeed, and it's, of course, fantastic to see Knights continue on their momentum, right?
No doubt. I mean, playing with 3 and managed to keep 3 alive that late in the game is impressive.
You could say they were charging forward.
They utilized their opportunity being the third wheel in the fight.
Definitely, and the spot that they had on that downhill, I thought they're gonna, after Na'Vi saw them, I think Na'Vi focused a little bit too much over in that edge yet.
Yeah, I feel like Na'Vi made a bit of a misplay there, right? Toby and Moses, thank you very much. We'll be back with you guys for the next match. So please, Andy, continue. Something happened to Na'Vi.
Well, I think Na'Vi, they went Na'Vi style. They went aggressive. They went to take those rogue guys out. That was necessary for them. They got the kills. Then they got one Knights guy out. But they basically were... it was tough. Because basically they forgot to have one guy still watching the back. They knew that they had the best possible hill there. And Nova basically just were able to run up there into almost as good position as Na'Vi had. Na'Vi almost played it out. They got that first kill, but then Nova reacted into it and basically reflanked Na'Vi guy who was focusing on finishing one of the Nova guys. And then Na'Vi just fell apart at that point.
Indeed. And it seems like the karma is turning around for Knights. And luckily, we have Kelly with Kramer.
I have Krama here with me, and congratulations on that win. That's 2 now in the 2 days. That's got to feel pretty good. I do want to talk about the start of it, or actually, I think it was the second circle where you guys were in the central compound, right in the center of the circle. When you see an opportunity like that, do you think that you're just going to sit there and be safe, or do you want to maybe take an opportunity to look around because you guys are already set?
We got called, Voxic called that the gas station was clear. So I scouted it for 40 seconds, and when we saw the third or the fourth circle pop, we knew it was clear. So we just went to it, and yeah, we just went there, and it was pretty free. Because we got the other circle as well, we were centered, but unfortunately we didn't get many kills because we're no one was picking the ridges. So the rest of the teams were actually taking all the kills. But we finished with 6 kills, I think, and it should boost up to top 8 for us. So it should be okay.
So when FlyQuest had that compound and you guys decided to take it over, how were you confident enough to be able to take that down when they were already established inside of it?
FlyQuest. I think FlyQuest. We were at the compound, and FlyQuest came to us with a bike, and we killed us. We killed them. Oh my god, my English not that good, but yeah, we killed them on a bike, and yeah, after that we just hard picked the guys on the ridge on the west side of the road, I think. Or the east side of the road, and we just pushed up and finished it, basically.
And of course, that last battle there against Nova, that was, such a dogfight going on 2v2. What was going through your mind?
I think I headshotted the first guy, so we were like, okay, just go for it, and we got it. And I actually kind of whiffed at the end, but it was okay. So.
Well, there's only 3 games left. How are you guys feeling now going into the rest of the day?
We feel pretty confident. We're aiming for a top 5 finish with 3 guys, so I think it's pretty respectable. And yeah, can I shout someone out?
Please.
So shout out to my boy VZ. We're happy that you're cheering for us. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Krama, for joining us, and good luck in the next 3 games. And everyone, don't go anywhere because we're going right back to Paula.
My boy VZ, shout out, gang, gang, gang. And don't worry, Kramer, we always whiff sometimes. Andy, how
More often
is
than the others.
Natu's whiffing when he's playing PUBG? Because in CS, he's been known at times to have some pretty spicy aim, but does it translate over?
Natu has that, aim of experienced
He's
CS
looking
player.
at you very intensely.
I know, Natu has a good aim, but of course the reflexes and stuff like that, young people go past.
Whoa, wait, so you're not putting Natu in the young people category?
I would say my reflexes are still pretty good.
They're good. I'm not saying they're bad, did I? I was just comparing you to the young people who play this game.
No, the young people just play more. It's just the difference. I have other occupations, and then the younger guys, they will obviously be grinding. Huh?
Are you up for a challenge?
I don't have the time for a challenge.
Oh, I do feel like over the course of seeing you two finish brothers together, that the familial relationship is more like a surrogate father to the son, and that there is some tension, like, no, Dad, I'm strong these days, and you're like, no, son, remember who's daddy.
More or less, yeah. Gotta remember that the kid has to know his place, right?
Any response to that, Andy?
I have all the respect, and that's it.
I think we have good mutual respect, so that's what matters in the end. But no, I felt like in the end, Navi was fortunate to be the only team on the south side of the circle having high ground advantage. Everyone had to eventually even goal for them, so you kind of feel like they miss out an opportunity, considering if we look at the situation in terms of FaZe going out in 14th and only gaining 9 points. Now the top of the leaderboard, obviously, in this game are going to be gaining massively on them, and they could have had 30 more
But
points.
was that Navi fight against Nova? I think it was more passive that you normally see from Navi.
I know, yeah.
There was no aggressive flanks or anything. It was just passive positioning as a 4 guys trying to get the angles, and Nova as an aggressive version now just overrun them.
Well, if we look at the overall leaderboard after our 13th game, we see, yes, that our prediction that the leaderboard would be even closer than before is correct. FaZe Clan now only 52 points ahead of Optic. And then after that, everything is extremely tight for the next 5 or 6 spots. However, the guys at the bottom now, I think if they want to win, they'd need to win out and have the people at the top to lose. So we do at this point know who are the likely contenders for the title, right?
Yeah, definitely. I want to point out in that last match, Rogue and their attempt to do the best move that they could from the position that they had. But unfortunately, Knights cut them out. That was the only move that it was a perfect play, but because Knights had the angles, they just got them knocked behind that, basically because they needed to have that heal as well. Everybody knew that basically, if you would have Navi, Rogue, and Nova on the other side, Knights would have had no chances coming out of that gas station anymore. So the play from Rogue did, it was definitely the best play that you can do, but they just got shot, like, right on the edge, and only one guy anymore alive.
It was like a chain reaction there in the end, where Knights having 2 members left and then having to climb up. If, like Andy was pointing out, Navi playing very, very passive compared to how they usually do, then that kind of gave that extra 10, 15, 20 seconds for Knights to be able to make it up as they were fighting against Nova. And then Nova coming out on top of that fight eventually becomes a 2-on-2, and then that's how it culminated in the end. So it was only just because I felt like if Navi would have been more aggressive and taken that fight faster, they would have probably come out on top of the whole situation.
Yeah,
100%.
But it was the Knights in shining armor that took it when it was all said and done. Now let's bring in our weatherman Lothar, my Polish brother. How's it going?
Like without any kind of heads up, just you're a camera. Oh, okay.
Oh, you're the guy, bro. You're always prepared, though. Look, you did that. Yeah, he's smooth. He knows he's smooth. What's going on, bro?
I have actually 2 replays this time, and
okay.
so we're trying to make it brief. All right. So first one,
go for it.
I'll give you some context because this is for the viewers. There's a lot of players currently on the screen, but at the same time, players from Nova and Lumbermill are below the hill. They're like downstairs in buildings, and this will be the second replay. Now we're going to talk about 2 teams. This will be Crimson and FlyQuest. And this is a clutch that was made by Interrogate here. And let's play it in slow motion right now. It's an interesting situation because Crimson is always going like very late into rotations. So they're almost always in this situation when they have to approach a team when the blue zone is already closing on them. In this particular situation, FlyQuest is split, but at the same time they have the vision. So even if they lose a member, they have a split approach to the entire battle. So as you can see, FlyQuest comes from different angles. Crimson, although they have numbers next to each other, they're well equipped and they have advantage of numbers when they have duels. They will lose on positioning because FlyQuest will be able to just attack them from different positioning. And this is very interesting. It would still end up really badly for FlyQuest, but at the same time, Interrogate pulled off with raw skill and finished up, if I'm not mistaken, 3 players from Crimson at the same time. Now, when it comes to impact of that team fight here, is that Interrogate was able to resurrect 2 of his other teammates in that gunfight. And if he would be able to revive 1, maybe not revive anyone, that's actually a lose-lose situation for both teams. And that's something that the teams have always in mind, right, Andy?
It is. And it's tough when you run. Like Crimson had to just basically run uphill from the blue. It's always hard to run to unknown. When you basically go like that you're on the same level, you don't have that scout that basically would go first and take the bullets and then have another team separate little bit to the combat. They basically were lined up and then got dead as well.
Yeah.
Like in a
Dead now, of course.
How can I say, like, what is the execution on that? I'm not gonna go there. It's gonna do dark humor, but
anyway, but
we're used to dark humor.
Correct.
But Lothar, do continue.
So my point is, Interrogator was lucky enough to be fast enough. Sorry, not lucky, but he was fast enough in this fight to still pull off weight with his entire team. If he would just lose his members, basically that was a lost situation in the general sense of the game. Now let's jump to a second replay when we have Nova and Lumbermill. They actually, to give you some context on this entire situation, they were fighting in this entire complex for like 5 minutes. There were knocks left and right with grenades going, back and forth, and they were resurrecting the players every single time because because of the buildings. That's how they work. They give you cover even if someone is knocked down. If you don't have a follow-up grenade after the knock, you're not going to finish up the guy unless he's alone in the building. So in the meantime, also, Kingwin with the last survivor, I think that was Larson, he just approached this building and pushed Nova to deal with him first, and because of that, Lumbermill was able to approach this building. Now let's play it in slow motion because that's actually hilarious what Nova tried to do. They had one player, nerf me please, vault on the building to jump down and try to shoot people through the windows. It's actually kind of hilarious.
As he was doing it, is this the Matrix?
Yeah, well, it kind of looked like it, you know? You can see here, nerf me please, is jumping on the side of the building, tries to just go ahead, or was it Kaint actually? One of the players was just jumping all over the place, trying to get to the roof, and then try to get like an angle on Lumberman. So, so this is not a typical scenario, something that happens often in the game, because first of all, finishers in cities are not that common, and at the same time, here, Lumbermill has actually another opponent, which is the blue zone. They have to win the fight right now, or they're going to lose to the blue zone as well. So, Andy, what would you do in this situation as Lumbermill?
That was tough, basically. They only had one guy outside, so they didn't have vision. You need to get those knocks. It almost worked out. They went for the trades the whole time. Like, people were dropping down from Nova and Lumbermill both. But in that case, when they started to get those knocks from one side, I think maybe pushing out and cleaning out, when you still have, maybe pushing out and taking a different position instead of staying at the house that they were at, that might have been like major effective player in that point.
It seems like a common rule or rule of thumb that we have in PUBG, that if you're in a losing position, you need to take that aggressive stance, otherwise you're always losing. Right? Whatever
you
the
need to, like,
outcome.
it's called peeker's advantage as well. That is really common in PUBG. The peeker's advantage is ridiculous.
In a lot of FPS games.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That is correct.
And when you go that aggressive playstyle, that's when you do it. You cannot just watch on one point.
I think it's very universal in FPS games in general as well. Unless you're never gonna win if you're just standing still in a situation where you're outnumbered.
Of course not. No.
Although
very simple.
Wookie Booking was very close to actually winning this entire fight because he downed 2 players from Nova, and then he had Nerf Me Please who jumped down from the rooftop. In his angle in the window, he just missed or whiffed a shot, or just Nerf Me Please was, you know, faster with the headshot. But after that, there was a slight chance that Wookie Bookie could have been the sole survivor of this gunfight. So it was pretty close.
During that the extended engagement in the complex, Lothar and Andy, is that almost like a waste of utility, using the grenades to down people, using your bullets when they're going to go down and be rezzed almost instantly?
No, if you're that close, no.
So it's worth taking the risk if you use that equipment and end up losing it?
Especially when you have multiple grenades. If you have a follow-up grenade after your knock, then you're good. Because that after the knock, your opponent will always be in the same position unless he's on a staircase and can just jump down literally the same second. But the follow-up grenade will usually kill him. So that's always worth it.
We're talking about player normally has like 3 to 4 grenades per player. So it's basically the mindset when you're gonna use it.
Of course. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Lothar, and we'll see you later today. He's about to break out of that shirt, and it's looking good. Natu, Andy, thoughts?
About the shirt or the game?
Either.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I know. I know. That was. No, Knights came out there. They're actually playing 3 players, which is highly surprising in how they managed to be so passive till the end, play for the circle, and I'm proud of that. What they've struggled, they're now actually climbing and fighting.
Yeah.
For the win.
It was so many teams. Just to point this out, so many teams losing players in early rotations right now.
Yeah.
We had more than half of the teams having lost.
Yeah, a couple of teams even
a player or
really
2.
Early.
Yeah.
They fought, like, basically there was like 1v1s happening really early in the cities, like between players as well. The first wipe happened with when Envious, well, not wipe, but lost 2 members, when Envious shot Miraku out of bike, if I remember right, or vehicle, and they shot and finished him, but they went for the loot instantly. Kingwin reacted, crossfire, then 2 players of Envious suddenly went down, and they basically paid that early game for that.
I completely agree with what you guys say, but we do have to press on slightly. We have now a pro tips video that you guys at home can definitely use to improve your game.